Did you know? Since the very dawn of humanity, life and death have always been just a heartbeat apart. On the ancient savanna, in a single careless moment, a newborn Homo habilis became the target of a bloodthirsty predator. The tribe was forced to face a terrifying truth. Even the smallest lapse in vigilance could cost them the most precious thing of all. Join us as we journey back millions of years to witness the harsh struggle for survival, where our ancestors, the Homo habilis, began each day under the shadow of fear and lurking danger. A new day dawned on the ancient savanna. The sun rose above the horizon, casting a thin golden light across the dew-kissed grass. Our ancestors, the Homo habilis, awoke together. The wind whispered through the thorny bushes, and early birds called to their flock. In the arms of a Homo habilis mother lay a newborn baby, its pink skin faintly visible beneath a crude leaf wrap. The entire tribe set out to forage. They moved in a loose formation, eyes scanning, ears perked for every sound. The mother and her baby settled by the base of a large tree, its roots intertwined like a natural cradle. The mother leaned against the trunk, holding her child, while the rest of the tribe dispersed to find food. The more agile individuals ventured into the tall grass. They snapped sturdy branches, sharpening one end into a point. These were crude but effective tools. They stooped low, then lay flat, as if stalking something downwind. Their footsteps on the dry earth were barely audible, the rustle of grass intertwined with their bated breaths. Suddenly, a wild horse appeared ahead, its head lowered, searching for young grass. Everyone immediately converged, forming a silent arc to encircle it. The horse startled and bolted backward, but the human ring closed in. Sticks crashed down, footsteps pounded, and the tribe, working together, brought the prey down. Their first meal of the day was secured. They rested for a while under the tree where the mother and baby waited. Sweat soaked their shoulders, their breathing gradually steadied, and a few individuals went to gather firewood. Bundles of dry branches were brought back and arranged in a pyramid. They created fire with their primitive tools. Sparks caught the dry tinder, and thin smoke curled upwards. Meat was sliced with sharp stones, skewered on long sticks, and expertly turned over the glowing embers. The tantalizing scent of roasted meat wafted across the wide field. The Homo habilis mother placed her child at the base of the tree, using dry leaves and roots to make a softer bed, then stood to eat with her tribe. Everyone was tired and ravenous. The joy of their prize made them almost forget everything else. But far away, amidst the fractured sunlight, a tiger silently approached, its yellow eyes fixed on the tree where the child lay. It stalked, hid, then advanced. The group was still engrossed in the smell of the meat, passing skewers, laughing and talking. No one noticed. A child's cry suddenly pierced the air. A faint, panicked sound echoed from the tree, startling everyone. They dropped their meat skewers, spun around, and ran, their footprints crisscrossing the hard ground. Reaching the tree, the mother cradled her child, sobbing chokily. Then, the sad truth befell the Homo habilis baby. The child was no longer stirring. Its warmth seemed to have been drawn from the world. The mother held her child to her chest, her sobs like cutting knives. The tiger still stood, hunched, ready for another strike if anyone dared to charge. A confrontation between a man and the tiger ensued. The man stepped forward, his staff clenched tightly in his hand. He roared to draw attention away from the mother. The tiger growled low, teeth bared, eyes unblinking. They lunged at each other in a brief, lightning-fast moment. But he alone was no match. A hammer-like swipe sent him staggering, a burning pain searing him. He stood his ground, leaning on his staff, breathing in ragged gasps, keeping the beast in his sights to buy time. Pounding footsteps approached. The entire tribe returned, forming a semicircle. Their sticks, now raised high, crashed down, hitting the ground and the bushes, creating a percussive sound. They shouted, stomped their feet, and threw stones in unison, like one large body. The tiger retreated step by step, ears flattened, growling. It tilted its head, searching for an escape, then suddenly turned and dashed away, its striped shadow dissolving into the grass. When the tiger left, the family embraced, weeping. They had learned another harsh lesson on the savannah. Predators can appear at any moment, and every minute of carelessness can cost them what is most precious. Dawn rose over the ancient savannah, the early wind rustling through the tall, dew-covered grass. Another day, the ancestors left their shelter, spreading out across the forest edge to search for food. They followed animal trails, eyes scanning the ground, ears listening for the slightest movement in the grass. At the same time, on the warm sand, a large snake emerged from its nest, slithering off to hunt, drawn by the scent of mice and young birds. As it departed, the curving imprint of its body remained on the sand, dry leaves lightly covering the mouth of the egg clutch. The Homo habilis caught the scent of fresh eggs, recognized the disturbed sand, and followed it to the edge of the bush. Their calloused hands quickly took a few eggs, cracked them open, and slurped down each thick, energy-rich mouthful. They ate hastily but remained vigilant, knowing that an egg nest was rarely left unguarded. The snake was still hunting, unaware that its nest was under attack. It tracked through low tunnels, its tongue flicking, tasting the air for scents among tree roots and rock crevices. The sun climbed higher, and insects hummed. Having eaten enough eggs for a morning meal, the ancestors rested on the dry ground, their eyes half closed in rhythm with the wind. Nearing noon, the snake returned to its nest. It slithered to the edge of the sand, its snout touching the broken shells, the pungent smell of eggs wafting in the hot air. When it reached the nest and found the eggs all eaten, it started head raised, body puffed up, a hiss escaping its mouth. Its rage drove it to quickly find the trail of the strange scent, following the path leading to the resting humans nearby. The snake approached for revenge, its head raised in an S shape, mouth slightly agape revealing fangs, aiming directly at the Homo habilis man lying near the tree's base. Suddenly, it launched itself, coiling its thick body around his chest and hips, tightening with each breath. The man, rapt, sprang up, grabbing the snake's body, trying to wedge his fingers into the coils to loosen its grip. His breath came in short gasps, his face paled, his feet pressing firmly against the tree roots for leverage. His wife saw him and dashed along the edge of the grass to alert the entire tribe. The whole Homo habilis tribe advanced, forming a semicircle around the snake, staffs in hand. They struck hard at the snake's body, avoiding the man trapped in its coils, constantly changing angles so the snake couldn't turn its head to retaliate. The thud of sticks against grass and dirt, shattered stones flying, and dirt and dust rising to obscure the creature's vision. After a while, the snake weakened, its coils slowly loosening, its head lowered, its tongue flicking out wearily. It sought an escape, wriggling past the staffs, slithering diagonally into the thicket, leaving behind flattened grass and scattered scales. The last strikes hit empty air. Everyone stood silent, listening, certain it had retreated far away. The man was freed from the coils, exhaling sharply, clutching his chest, his eyes still blurred. Everyone helped guide him away from the dangerous spot, following a high bank to avoid the thick brush, moving their resting place to a more open clearing. When their heartbeats and breathing stabilized, they went down to a shallow stream to wash, scrubbing off the smell of blood and snake from their skin, water flowing over their calves. Soft laughter erupted after the tension, like a release of lingering fear. They cleaned their sticks, picked up sharp stones, and checked their leaf pouches and remaining food. The sun slanted westward, casting long shadows of people on the grass. The danger had passed. The Homo habilis again grouped and reformed their ranks, continuing their search for food. They avoided the thicket where the confrontation had just occurred, instead following the edge of the wind, foraging for wild fruits, roots, and looking for animal tracks to mark targets for the next day. Their footsteps returned to a steady rhythm. Their eyes scanned farther than usual, and each step carried an added lesson. No meal is free on the savannah. Our ancestors fought every single day just to survive, and this was only one of their countless battles. Backhand index pointing right if you found this story fascinating. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter of humanity's untold history.